Hi there. Thanks for clicking on the link and checking out this video. My name is Mariska Reinering, and I am a money and strategy business coach, as well as a holistic financial planner. I am also the owner of Well and Worth It, a business focused on improving your relationship with money from the inside out. Today, we will be talking about cash flow, and in particular, how you determine your spending. Let me ask you first, do you feel like you have a great income, but you should be getting more from your money? Or do you feel at the mercy of your expenses? Or do you want to just find out a way to fund your dreams, get rid of anxiety about your cash flow, and get more life from the money you have? Well, if you've said yes to any of these questions, this video is for you. And let me show you how managing your money is about so much more than math. So what we'll cover is what your cash flow could and should be doing for you, why you may be struggling with your cash flow regardless of your income. We'll discuss what a behavioral cash flow plan is and how it can support your financial plan and your financial well-being. And we'll give you some great tips to get started. So I'll explain a little bit more about the science of money and our brain in another video, but here's a quick overview. You can find the video with the expanded explanation on my website, wellandworthit.com. So when we feel anxiety or stress about money or other things in life, our brain can respond by going into survival mode or a fight or flight or freeze mode. This all lives in the primitive part of the brain, the reptilian part. It's the oldest part of our brain. Desire also lives here, but no words, no logic, no common sense. So that's why sometimes when we really want something, all our good intentions go out the window. The logic, common sense, and language lives in the thinking brain, our neocortex. This part of our brain is much newer and much bigger and capable of processing large amounts of information, but it's also a bit slower. And actually, science has shown that when our reptilian brain is triggered, the blood flow to our thinking brain goes down by 80%. 80%. That's amazing, isn't it? So it makes sense in nature as our bodies get ready for the fight or the flight, and the blood needs to go to our limbs, but it doesn't make so much sense when you're out getting groceries or feeling stressed about money and life and things like that. So are you with me so far? So when the reptilian brain is in charge of our money decisions, it's going to be based on fear and desire. And most of this is so fast that it stays in our subconscious. We don't even fully know where our money is going. You know, I hear this all the time from clients. They might say, you know, my income's $8,000 and my expenses are $6,500. So technically they should have $1,500 a month left, but they don't. And instead they have credit card debt. So where did that money go? So a lot of that can be contributed to unconscious spending or emotional spending. Now add to this our payment methods nowadays. So how do you pay for things? Do you use a credit card, a debit card, or do you use cash most of the time? Now, I don't know the exact statistics, but I think you would agree most people pay with some kind of card or even their phones, not with cash. So are you really conscious about your spending with this payment method? And the next question is, how do you keep track of your spending? Do you have a budget? Do you wing it? Do you have jars? So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this is probably not working for you. I hear this all the time from people in my workshops and my clients. For the ones that keep track of with the app from their bank, this is after the fact and it doesn't make them aware in the moment of where their money is going. Or if you've tried a budget, you probably just gave up after a few weeks as it was too tedious and felt too restrictive. Or for those people that just kind of keep track in their head as they sort of know what to spend, how's that working? It's probably not working too well, right? So I'm just going to come out and say it. Budgets don't work. Why is that? Well, first of all, as I mentioned, they feel restrictive. They feel like you're on a diet, and they're constantly focusing you on what you can't do. Money is part of so many things, almost every part of our lives. So if we constantly have to keep track and be aware of how much money we're spending, then it really takes the focus away from really enjoying life. It's also very tedious. We constantly have to keep track, usually manually. There are some apps, but then the problem is it's ongoing work and we're at the mercy of our expenses. Like we can't do much about it, or we feel that we have no control over our expenses. And most of all, the tracking is after the fact. We've already spent the money. And then the most important thing is it doesn't correct our behavior. Remember our primitive brain? It can just keep on spending and keep on making decisions that seem like a great idea in the moment, but it doesn't necessarily stem from common sense. So here's normally what happens. Your money comes into your account, you pay your bills, you pay your mortgage and everything, your coffee, your groceries, and eating out. And then if there's any money left over, we put a little bit in savings. But the way our brain is wired, if the money is sitting in our checking account, we end up spending it. And this is not to say you're irresponsible with money or are wasting it. You're just making different choices throughout your day or in the grocery store based on what we think we have in our account. Is this bad? Well, not necessarily. We feel bad enough about money as it is, so I don't want to add to that. But you may not feel so confident about your finances if this is the way you do it. Is there an alternative? Well, you guessed it. Of course there is a better way to do this, and it's a behavioral cash flow plan. So you might be wondering, what is a behavioral cash flow plan? Would it help me? And I hear this all the time. I hate math. Does this still work for me? Well, what is a behavioral cash flow plan? It's a conscious way of handling your cash flow to work with your brain, not against it. So by bringing it to your consciousness, your thinking brain has more of a chance for input. Also, by separating out the emotionally charged spending and the non-emotional spending, the primitive brain's fears and desires can be running the show unchecked. And it also works to create a plan to fund your dreams with the money we find this way, the found money. And we can align that with your values. So by taking charge of your spending, you can now create a plan that works for you, putting money towards what's important in your life. And you get to reach your goals much faster this way. Now, you might say, do I need a cash flow plan? Well, let's see. Do you have cash flow? Or if you have goals and dreams that haven't been 100% funded yet, or if you experience stress or anxiety about money, or you may feel like you're at the mercy of your expenses, you carry debt, or your money could do more. Yes, you need a cash flow plan. Why is this? Why does it work? Well, coming back to how our brain processes money and what happens when we get stressed about money, with the behavioral cash flow plan, you can relax as you know exactly how much you can spend. No more wondering, no more calculating, no more keeping track, no more worrying. And when you're relaxed, your neocortex, your thinking brain, can be part of the process, so you'll make smarter decisions. You'll be very conscious and confident when you spend your money. You will know exactly what to do with your money. And it changes the conversation in your head from I can't or I shouldn't to I could choose to do this or I could do that. And it almost makes it into a fun game. So to summarize, it can help you save tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars over time. And no, I am not exaggerating. It will help you find the money to fund your dreams instead of just running the rat race. And it will help you stop money leaks, spending money on stuff that doesn't matter. So you've got lots of money for the stuff that does matter. And finally, it can tell you what to do, not just what to buy. So before I show you how you can get started on your journey to financial freedom, let me give you a few tips. First of all, know your credit score. So a really great way to check is creditkarma.ca or .com, depending on where you live. This is a soft check, so it doesn't impact your credit score. If you do carry debt, find my video on debt stacking so I can tell you the best and most efficient way to pay off debt. Secondly, switch to cash for all your daily spending. This includes groceries. Yes, I know you're probably rolling your eyes thinking, oh, that's never going to work. But trust me, try it. Try it, even if it's just for a week or two. Ideally, you do this, you switch to cash for 60 days with the behavioral cash flow plan. But even just switching for cash without the plan, it's going to make a huge big difference. It's going to show you exactly where your money is going. And awareness is everything. That's where it all starts. Lastly, I would really encourage you to redefine your relationship with money. And one way of doing that is through behavioral money coaching. This involves really looking at the emotional side of money. We find out what's buried in your subconscious and what beliefs are running your life. So let me give you a few examples to show you how that could show up. So I have clients who were raised as kids with constant reminders that the rich people, quote unquote, were greedy or evil, or you fill in the blanks, or that money's evil. We've all heard that one, right? So if that's your fundamental subconscious belief and you start making more money in your job or your business, what do you think happens? You're likely to increase your spending as much as you're increasing your earning, or even more. This is a subconscious process, so you won't even realize you're doing it. All you know is that you still can't save money, even though you're making way more than you used to. Another example I see quite often is that people are really fearful and anxious about money, particularly about not having enough money. They continue to have this fear and anxiety no matter how much money is in their account or what their net worth is. I see this with some of my clients who are actually millionaires. Their fear and anxiety isn't relieved by having this money in the bank. It may seem illogical to you, but that's just it. It isn't logical, it's emotional. So we need to look at that side of money to be able to transform it and enjoy the money the way we're meant to enjoy it. Now, I hope I've given you a little bit of food for thought in this video. And if you want to see how this cash flow plan or coaching could work for you, you can go to my website and book a free introductory call with me. I'm really looking forward to chatting with you and hope to see you in one of my other videos as well. In the meantime, be well. You're worth it.